And now we have Ju-Jung Lee, who will also speak with us.
Dear teachers, administrators, faculty, parents, and classmates, good evening. Although some know me as David Lee, I requested specifically to Mrs. Terranova to call me Ju-Hyung because for the past 13 years, I've been called that name by administrators all alike, and I just found it fitting to end with the same name that I began with. So, regardless, I'm honored to be addressing the class of 2014 for the first and the last time. Now, first we must take a step back and admire the achievements that individuals within our class have made. From our humble beginnings as awkward, pimply, and rather unspirited freshmen, we became significantly less awkward, significantly less pimply, but still a little unspirited seniors. From speech and debate national qualifiers to Intel Science Fair medalists, from NCS women's soccer champions to the boys basketball players of not only the finest team in the state, but in Monte Vista school history, from leaders to artists, from musicians to actors, I could really say that we have made a difference in Monte Vista. Now, although these achievements of our class merit admiration, they also come with the negative attributes that are associated with living in this generation. We live in an age where, although we are told that we could be anything, we rarely put in the effort to achieve the goals that we look for. And this is not the only stereotype that the media labels us as. We have the internet, arguably the most revolutionary tool created by humans, but we shirk the responsibilities related to that tool. And even though Spider-Man's Uncle Ben warned that with great power comes great responsibility, we often shirk these responsibilities and don't foresee the repercussions that come from our actions. And I speak about this on a personal level. We are called narcissistic, apathetic, irresponsible, and entitled. Now the question that I want to ask those of you asking yourselves, who cares what other people think, is this. When you have children, hopefully, do you want our legacy to them to be one of the entitled generation, the apathetic generation, the lazy generation, or the self-centered generation? No. We must instead be the fearless generation. Because after all, it is the fear of the obstacles that we face, instead of the obstacles themselves, that truly prevent us from achieving the goals that we want to. Fearlessness empowers us, and in doing so, we recognize the true potential that we could achieve. And now let me tell you about some fearless men and women in the past. Let me tell you about a fearless man who had a dream for his little children, for his 4 little children, that they may not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Let me tell you about a fearless woman who would not give up her bussy, a woman who with a small act straightened her back up, because she believed that when men and women straighten their backs up, they're going somewhere, because a man can't ride your back unless it is bent. Let me tell you about a fearless man who took one small step for himself, but one giant leap for mankind. The man who pushed the discoveries of human ingenuity and gone before where no others have gone, to space. Let me tell you about a fearless woman who, blind and deaf as she was, managed to still learn to read and write, because she knew that the worst thing in life was not disability, but the inability to overcome disability. Let me tell you about these men and women, because these men and women are ones I hope each and every one of you becomes in these next years. Now, it's not something that comes overnight. It starts with you waking up and finding out your true potential. It starts with you believing that you're crazy enough to enact change wherever you go. Because as Steve Jobs puts it, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. So today, in celebration of our graduation, but also the beginning of a new generation, the fearless generation, here's to the age that knows no fear. To a generation bound only by the limits of its creativity and perseverance, a generation with no regard for the status quo. A generation that could shrug off the shroud of apathy that has so long been associated with it, and instead roll its sleeves up, get its hands dirty, and change wherever we go. Now, it won't be easy. Not all of you will take my words to heed. But I guarantee the few that do will rise up to create one of the greatest generations that this nation has ever seen. To our generation, may we push the limits that have been set before us. May we learn from our failures and share in our victories. May when we face the fork in the road, may we, the fearless generation, stand up straight, face the unknown, and take the road less taken. Then never look back, not now, not tomorrow, and not for all the days to come. Onward and upwards, with best wishes, and a sincere congratulations to you all. Ju Hyung Lee, Monte Vista High School Class of 2014.